little bit of a jazzy mood there, I guess, to start the new month, Terry. It's hump day.
It
And it's
is.
the first day of a new month. So with the new days and new months comes new hope, right?
That's right. We're going to do a lot better this week,
This
the rest
month.
of the week, this month.
The
Yeah.
close out 2021. Yeah, I mean, yesterday, I mean, at least on the other days, we had a nice exacta and trifecta, but in our box it up, we both had exactas. It's sad for me because mine, the winner went off at 3-1, but in the morning line odds, he was 12-1 at Penn National. So he got bet down pretty hard. Must be a lot of people watch the show. But what's interesting about that, though, is it was our free picks Penn National over at guaranteedtipsheet.com. So you can head on over there for today's free picks. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But that being a 12-1 morning line really boosted the payout for the pick four that we had over there because a lot of people didn't have it in the sequence tickets.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
But I wanted it for the box up at 12-1, Terry, because you get a nice $25 horse just on the top with an exact. Even if the favorite comes in, then you're going to have a really nice payout, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Going to pay, $40, $50, $60 at least.
Yeah. I mean, people have to stop taking our advice with those long shots. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For sure. Well, if they want to take advice, Terry, maybe in Nebraska, and people, we might get some new watchers soon because Nebraska is about to launch a new racetrack. And if you're in the area tomorrow, they're going to have, so you'll see there's going to be a new officials with the Global Gaming Nebraska of the Chickasaw Nation of Oklahoma. They're going to build a $50 million North Plate exposition and racing operation. It's going to have a horse racing and a casino. They're going to do a live demonstration tomorrow at 2:00 at the second floor of the Prairie Arts Center to share the details. So I guess if you live in Nebraska or you're driving through Interstate 80, you can stop in there and say hello. I've driven through Nebraska before, Terry, and there's not a whole lot to do on the way through there. It's a lot of flat land.
Yeah, I've never been there, so I imagine it is flat. It's Midwest there.
Just flat.
Yep.
All the way. We drove from there from Chicago to Denver, Colorado. It was about a 14-hour drive. But yeah, honestly, it went really fast, though. I don't know why it went so fast because there wasn't a whole lot to do. And then, like, when you cross the border into Colorado, once you're about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 miles into Colorado, you can't even pick up a radio station.
No, I know. It's desolate there.
Yeah, it's actually, in some kind of ways, it's even though you're driving, even there's no music, it's just quiet, there's not a lot, it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
When you're in this hustle and bustle of living in the city like Chicago, when you get a moment to kind of just go, it kind of feels good.
It does. Absolutely.
It feels a little bit better than good. I wouldn't say it feels as good as winning a ticket, Terry, but pretty damn close.
Yep.
So did you see this story, Terry? Buzz off.
Oh, yeah. I can't understand why somebody would do that and destroy their career.
So Ray Pollock reports here that Indiana Grand's leading quarter horse jockey faces a 20-year ban for alleged use of electrical devices.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Did very well during the. Always a fan of. Fowler Park did do very well, but this young man, Sammy Menendez, I guess got busted with one of those buzzers. Now I don't know, as I've mentioned before, Terry, how strong or to what degree a buzzer actually helps a horse. Yeah, I've been willing to, for charity, be buzzed if people are willing to do that. I'll get buzzed and see how long. For every second I could take it, like $1 or something like that, right? Maximum, heart attack. If I have a heart attack, it goes up to $50. But the one thing I don't understand about this. Okay, so Sammy Mendez. Honestly, Terry, how many people know who Sammy Mendez is?
Well, I didn't know, so maybe.
And we follow horse racing pretty closely, right?
Yeah. Of course, he rides quarter horses, so.
But I mean, I would say there's even people who are familiar with the sport are unfamiliar by and large with Sammy Mendez, despite the fact that he's the leading quarter horse jockey at Indiana Grand.
Yep.
So suspending this guy for 20 years, I know it's probably intended to send a message, and maybe through the jockey rooms, locker rooms, it will send the message, don't buzz the horses. But what does it say when a nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, an unknown quantity, right? and Sammy Mendez gets suspended for 20 years for using a buzzer, to which we have no idea how many times he's used the buzzer. If this is the first time, the last time, the only time, it was my first time, right? You're my first. But anyway, he buzzed them, and he gets canned for 20 years. And then you have other people, more high-profile people. In fact, Tom Carley is the chairman of the fan club of one of the most high-profile people, and yet Pete in the hay.
Yeah.
It was on my fingertips. I mean, a litany of the dog ate the homework excuses, and the high-profile people get away with it over and over and over.
Yeah, I see where sometimes they get $1,000 fine or a $5,000 fine, and that's all that happens to them. So,
well, don't you feel like if they wanted to really send a message that instead of suspending Sammy Mendez for 20 years, they would take a high-profile person, and there's your example, right? You're making millions of dollars, and this is what is going to happen to you if you get busted cheating.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you, Tom. There are a lot of excuses for high-profile people, but zero tolerance for jockeys. And it's, I'm not a big fan of zero tolerance policies either, because people do have a change of heart from time to time. They become whatever, something, they come to God moment and they straighten up, right?
Yeah.
But I do feel like punishment should be meted out pretty evenly. If you're a jockey or a trainer, whomever you are, your hand, and you get caught cheating, the punishment should be the same. Just because you're able to write a bigger check to the people who need the bigger checks doesn't mean you should be treated differently anywhere in the justice system, be it horses or humans.
Absolutely. And yet, if you do have the money, you get away with a lot.
Quite frankly, some people get away with murder.
That's OJ. Right. Yeah.
All right, Terry. So we'll go we'll go away from murderous things and buzzers. But again, I am willing to do for charity. I'll take a buzzer, see how long I can take it before, and then we'll donate that money to the jockeys and to the aftercare for jockeys who get injured and aftercare for horses, that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, so let's talk about winning horses, Terry. How did your best bet do yesterday?
Well, actually, my best bet didn't do very well. Whoa, Nessie didn't do very well.
Whoa, bad.
And my second pick was scratched. My third pick also, I think, ran flat.
He's hanging out with Whoa.
That's right. But this is a new month.
This is a new month, a new day. Right. It's hump day, and we're going to go down to Tampa where it's sunny and it's warm. Our friend Ren Carruthers in her Twitter account today said that it is beautiful down there today. So I'm stuck in cold Chicago. Terry, it's probably nice out by you in the Golden Coast, but down in Tampa, it's supposed to be sunny and beautiful.
Yeah, it's a little bit cold here. It's foggy. But anyway, for today's pick, I picked the 5th race at Tampa Bay. And I like number 4, Chillin' Lady. She ran second in her last race at Tampa Bay Downs. Switches to jockey Jose Ferrer, who in the last 7 days...
Who doesn't use buzzers.
No, he doesn't.
And at least that we know of.
In the last 7 days, has the record of 15 mounts, 5 wins in a second. And then the shorter distance of this race should help her running style. Mm-hmm. I like number 2, Doris.
I'll go with Doreska. We'll go with that.
Doreska, yes. Tried turf and didn't take to it. Didn't like it. It didn't seem like. Now returns to dirt.
It wasn't the good grass.
Yeah. Now she returns to dirt where her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 3, Truly a Dream, has finished in the money in the last 4 races. She has a good workout on November 21st at Tampa Bay. 3 furlongs, 36.4. It was the 5th best out of 21. So.
All right, sounds good. And if you missed Terry's best bet, or you want to see it again, or you want to have access to it, and you can obviously find it on the video over at Horse Racing Radar, at Horse Racing Radar TV. Too many monikers to remember anymore, Terry. We're also started posting our content over at horseracingtoday.net. So if there's anything you missed on the show and you want to check it out, you can head on over to horseracingtoday.net. You'll find Terry's best bet posted there every day, along with some other content that we'll be bringing to the show and to the site. So that'll be a good place for you to find that sort of information. All right, Terry, you said it's a new day. It's a new month. It's time for some new picks and hopefully a new tone. Let's get off to a winner in race number 6, Terry. And I think at Tampa Bay Downs in race number 6. It's a 5 furlong turf race. They haven't run very many at this distance, but you'd imagine it favors speed. There's one horse in here that almost doesn't even make sense that this horse is in this race, which concerns me a little bit, Terry, because the Critical Way, the 4-horse, is coming out of a grade 3 win at Parks, and now it's running in an optional claiming $75,000 race. I don't know if it's in for a tag or not, but it sure seems to me that's a hell of a drop in class. It's really suspicious to me.
It is, but even saying that, I have to take it as my first pick. I mean, it's won 2 out of 2 at Tampa Bay, and it's been in the money 12 out of 15 races at this distance and won 6 of those. This year, it's been in the money 6 out of 7 times, won 3. He drops in class today, as you were talking about, which is a little suspicious. And he has the best turf speed, is the fastest among today's starters.
Yeah, I agree. To a speed horse, there's really not a lot of other speed in this race. If you look at the past performances, which is kind of shocking. Maybe the Argentinian horse about today, but he still came over here and wasn't really well bet. Didn't seem to like the Parks track whatsoever at all in its last race. The 8-horse Baby Boomer is probably going to try to keep pace, but seems to be more of a co-pilot than a pilot. So I think the 4-horse is going to get to the lead. For me, Terry, there's only one other horse that I even thought about. I looked at the 5-horse, but I went back to the 1 Chess Master. Mm-hmm. It has lost to the 4-horse before. It has lost to Jazzy Times and other horses in this field. But if you look at the short sprints, the horse has won 8 of 17 short sprints. If you look at the Tampa Bay record, 3 wins and 2/3 in 6 starts at the distance. But for me, if you look back to a Tampa Bay race on March the 10th of last year, mm-hmm. The horse ran, on March the 10th, it ran 5 furlongs in 54 and 4. And if you compare that to the times of the 4-horse, it's actually faster than what the 4-horse has been able to put up at Tampa Bay Downs. So to me, the only other horse, and it has to run back to its best race that has a chance to beat it, is Chess Master. And one other thing I noticed about this horse, the last 2 races, it broke from the rail, won them both.
Yes, and I totally agree with you. It's my second pick. It's got a really hot jockey too, Jesus Castanone.
Mm-hmm. When you say hot jockey, Terry, I always wonder, do you mean like he's good looking or do you mean like he's winning?
No, I mean he's really winning. He's winning a lot. They're getting in the money a lot. He's doing really well. It's like Kent DeSormo's doing right now. So he's had in the last 7 days, he's won 50% of his mounts. So that's pretty good. So yeah,
that's hot.
It is. That's hot. So
indeed.
I go
fuego.
Yeah. So I agree with the number 1. So,
do you think we need to go any deeper here, Terry?
No, but I'd like to put one off to the side in case there's a scratch, and that's the number 8 horse, Baby Boomer. Mm-hmm. And Baby Boomer is a horse that can either run on top or can close from close to the pace. It has the highest last speed rating, and also it could improve with the shorter distance. It finished 3rd against similar last time. And he's ran second twice at Tampa Bay, but I think just in case there's a scratch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the only other horse in here I was considering maybe was number 5, Jazzy Times, or maybe number 7, and that is about today, the Argentinian horse, because it did win every race in Argentina as a heavy favorite, but then came here. But the thing that makes me think maybe about today, the 7-horse would probably be a better play. It knows how to win, obviously. I don't think it faces the same kind of company in Argentina that it would face here in the States, but it's getting Lasix for the first time, and maybe that's enough. I don't know if it's a front runner, but a lot of times you get it did show some early speed in the Parks race and then faded. So I think the Lasix should help the 7. I would absolutely put the 7 in exactas and trifectas and stuff like that.
Okay, let's put it off to the side in case there's a scratch.
Race number 7, Terry. This one is 7 furlongs, optional claiming, 32,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. Purse is only 28,000. It's 1 turn all the way back. They start all as far back as you can at Tampa Bay Downs. 12 races, Terry. 7 of them won by speed horses. 4 going wire to wire. Average field size is about 6.4. Horses with the typical winner running around second or third at the quarter-mile marker. And it looks to me like the majority of the winners in the short amount of data that we have here, this small data set, have left between posts 4, 5, 6, and 7. So maybe a slight outside bias. So who do you like?
I like number 4, Striking Chrome. Won its last race at Delaware. And actually at Tampa Bay, it's won one of its races out of 4 starts in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the distance, it likes the distance so far because it's 1 for 1. So,
yeah, I agree. And the last race was a pretty nice race, as you mentioned, at Delaware. Showed some improvement in terms of its late pace numbers. The early pace numbers kind of tailed off a little bit. Maybe really didn't need to run very hard. So that race, although it was a wire-to-wire win, might not have taken a lot out of that horse because you don't really see a lot of early effort. So maybe the horse got away with the easy race. And because it had an easy race last time out, could find itself to be really sharp.
yeah. And another thing is it's shortening up to 7 furlongs, which I think will help.
I'm going to go with number 6 horse here, Terry. That's Clay's Moonstone. Did tie for the highest last race speed figure. The horse has run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 high quality starts in its last 10 races. 4 wins, 4 seconds in 2021 starts. And the horse has done fairly well at the distance as well with a win. And I think it had one of the top speed numbers at the quirky 7 furlong distance.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting this horse to come off the bench and run a very sharp race, just like it did last time after it got a little bit of rest at Prairie Meadows.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's my second choice. It has another good jockey or hot jockey, if you want to say it like that.
However you want to say it, Terry. Pablo Morales is lighting it up. So far, they've had 8 races. He's won 3 of them.
That's absolutely right. And the horse seems to be all right with the distance. He's won one of a race at that distance. And this year, he's 8 out of 11 in the money, winning 4 of those. So
yeah, good so far. Good start. And he tends to come off the bench and run a pretty sharp speed figure too. So it looks like this is a horse, Clay Moonstone, that likes to get a little bit of time off. Who else do you like, Terry?
I like number 2, Hannah Dances. She comes in from Belmont, and where she ran, 4th by 14. But
that's close.
Yeah. But it was like an even race for her. But best dirt, she has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and she has a hot jockey again.
There you go.
Jesus Castanon. And as we've said, he's won 3 out of 6 in the last 7 days. She's won 4 out of 7 races this year, which is pretty good. And she's also
looks to me like, as I mentioned, Ren says it's really nice and hot and sunny. Well, maybe not hot down there, but beautiful sunny day down there. And she's run on a fast track 9 times.
Yeah.
Caught the winner's tape 6 of those. So it looks to me like she might really like the weather today.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think about that? It's a good idea.
I do. Yeah.
She likes the sun and the fun, Terry. I mean, who can blame
Absolutely.
a girl for that? I mean, I certainly like the sun and the fun as well. I think this, to me, we differ a little bit on this. I think this is the most wide open race in the field because there wasn't really a standout horse. Based upon your hot dog, you think it's the last race in the sequence. I had the 7th rated a little bit lower. I had it raced, tied for 4th or 5th, which is where we are right now, Gramercy. But then I was kind of looking at everybody's picks down there because I like to see what the locals are putting. So over at horseracingtoday.net, I've put up all the picks that local experts have that are available for free on the internet. And everybody down there at Tampa Bay Downs is putting the 7 in their selection. So I'm wondering if maybe they knew something. Like I said, was my 5th pick. We'll put it in here at 4th. Coming in from Arlington Park, it's only done good work so far, Terry, on an all-weather track. I don't know how well it'll do on that sandy track down there at Tampa Bay. That concerns me a little bit. And that's why when I saw it, being highly rated by the folks who covered the Tampa Bay circuit, I thought maybe they know something about the workouts that I don't know, because when I look at the workouts, they're pretty bad. 10th of 11, 6th of 6, 17 of 23rd. So it was my 4th or 5th pick. The folks that follow Tampa swayed me to put it in as my 4th.
Well, it's my 4th pick. So we are in agreement with that. The only thing that concerns me is the workouts at Tampa Bay haven't been all that great. But I do like Rocco Bowen as a jockey. and he's winning at 27% clip. And of course, he's the jockey and trainer in the last 14 days have had 5 mounts, 2 wins, 2 seconds. I think this is a horse that's kind of a mystery horse, and I like it as a 4th pick. So.
All right, fantastic. I'm seeing you from Venezuela. Greetings, Juan. I hope everything is nice down in Venezuela. That the weather is as nice down there as is Tampa, because in Chicago it's a little cool and it's a little foggy out by Terry. Should be a lifetime ban. You think for the buzzer or for the good hay there, JW, or both? For the hay and the accidental fingers and all that kind of stuff, right? Terry?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If there were a scratch here, Terry, the one I would put off to the side, the one I was debating with with the 7 horse was the 3 horse.
Okay.
What do you think? We'll put him in there.
Yeah, let's put him off to the side, or
Maybe we'll even have enough space when it's over to add him in there, but we'll see.
Could be.
Race number 8, Terry, in our 4-race sequence. Again, Terry and I do a pick 4 so that we can discuss as many horses as possible, as many different angles as we know and sometimes forget, and they come back to us at the moment. We would consider exactas, trifectas, rolling doubles, rolling triples. The other day, as I mentioned, we had my 2 picks, a hot dog, had a $160 exacta, even though we didn't make it through the sequence in the pick 4, which sucks. When you have a $150 exacta, Terry, you know the pick 4 would have been great too. But anyway.
Yep.
1 mile on the turf, claiming 16,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime, Terry. 1 mile, they haven't run very many of these, Terry, but from looking back at past Tampa Bay data, I found that closers tend to have a big advantage at 1 mile on the turf at Tampa Bay. So why don't you start us off with the speed horse?
Yeah, well, I like number 6, that quality, which is a speed horse. And it had been off since last April and had 1 start since then in October, and got a really good speed rating. Actually, in the last 4 races, even though they've gotten some time between them, it's improved every race. But it's ran at Tampa Bay before, ran second. It likes the distance. It's won a race out of 3 and ran second once. This year it's 2 for 2 in the money. So I think this is a good choice.
Yeah, I mentioned it does have a closing bias for sure, but then you have to kind of look at the race and other horses in the field. And this horse has 1s across its past performance lines. And all the other, what I would call speed horses, if you want to call them speed horses, they have 2s and 3s, and there's really not a whole bunch of 1s. So there's an opportunity here, I think, for the 6 horse, just like yesterday at the start of the pick for us at Turf Paradise. The 6 horse got to the lead and ran easy fractions despite a closer's bias, was able to be lone speed all the way around the racetrack. That quality's trainer, Jonathan Thomas, I never trust people with 2 first names. Nonetheless, the second start off a layoff. He's won 15 of 50 so far this year. So it looks to me like he targets the second race for many of his horses, even though he won the last one. So I agree with you. I think the 6 horse is going to be on the lead. Everyone's going to chase and could get fractions that make it kind of easy. The other horse that I like in this spot, Terry, is the 1 horse, Osprey. It is a closer in the field, so I do expect this horse to be coming on very hard late. It does have some of the top, most consistent last race speed figures coming in from Gulfstream Park, but did have a couple runs already at Tampa Bay Downs. And just a little while ago, it did win Tampa Bay Downs 1 mile at the distance, and it broke from the rail. That was the last time this horse won. So maybe this is a horse that likes to break from the inside, Terry. It's going to be back on the inside today, and that race was one of its better races. I feel like it can, based upon the pace, sit right behind the 6 horse on the rail and have a little bit better late kick.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't have it in my picks, but you've convinced me.
I should.
I
am definitely persuasive, Terry.
That's right. You are. And you did a good job there. So I like another one is my second pick, number 2, Steiner. Yes. Has the last race speed rating highest, and Dam's produced 2 turf winners so far. The trainer wins 24% of the time when he brings a winner back that claim that it was in a claiming race and returns. And he just won his last race, and he's going to be coming from behind, so he's one of the ones going to try to catch that speed. He's won 2 out of 4 races this year, and this first time for him at Tampa Bay, and actually it's the first time for him on turf. So he's a first timer. We'll see what happens.
First timers, a Steiner.
Yeah.
That's when the stoners go to the diner when they're hungry at 2 a.m. The Steiner.
Yeah, and they also added Lasix. So
yeah, so I wanted to bring that up to the screen. That's why I pulled up the Brisnet past performance sheets. If you we use Brisnet, if you're looking for past performance sheets and you like what you see here, we don't have any affiliation with Brisnet, but you can head on over there and buy their sheets at brisnet.com. I do like the fact that this horse is getting first time Lasix. That's this bold L here right there. And what I like about it even more, Terry, is I really like horses that show speed. So you can see the horse does show some speed, although he has closed as well. But he does get towards the front at times. Speed and first-time Lasix has been a powerful combination for me, Terry. It's worked a lot.
Yep.
Any other horse that you like in this field?
I like number 8, which is Big Perm. Drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and has some average works. Has won 2 out of 10 races this year. Been in the money 6 times, so 60% of the time. First time at Turf
Tampa.
Paradise. I mean Tampa. Yeah, but it
I know the
turf.
T is confusing.
It is. It likes the turf. It's been in the money 8 out of 12 times, winning 2 of those. So
I was going back between that and Marv's Magic. Those were my 4th and 5th pick, the 10 horse, Terry. The 10 horse I feel is like a little bit stronger of a closer than the 8 horse is. Does have some better late pace numbers. 2 races back, put together a late pace figure of 110. I feel like if it can be not that far off the pace, should be mid pack, does have some really, like I said, good, strong late numbers, and it does favor closers. So I do feel like the 10 is going to outrun the 8 and does have a little bit better recency in terms of speed numbers. So we'll come back and decide which one we want to stick in there for. You know what, Terry? Screw it. I'm going to be a bully today, and I'm going to lock the 10.
Isn't that funny? Because I was just thinking that I might tell you that it's a no-goer. So you beat me to it.
Well, you can lock your 8 too, and we have room.
No. Let's go to the 9th first, because I think it's pretty wide open too.
All right, the 9th race. Yes, you do think it's pretty wide open for sure. A couple scratches impacting our picks here a little bit, I'd say. But nonetheless, again, 1 mile favors closers, Terry. I'm going to start with the 6 horse because I feel like the 6 horse – Dreamliner, as much as I was trying to find a reason to beat this horse, it was tough for me to find a reason to beat this horse because all of the other horses didn't appear to me to be anywhere near the I want to say class, but the speed figures don't match up. The horse can run up front. The horse can run from the back. The horse seems to do well at Tampa, has a win and a second. Its top scoring race at Tampa is much better than any other horses in this field. Then you have Saffie Joseph Jr., who dominates this track down here. So this is his first start of the year, and the horse was a favorite last time out, and Saffie comes back at 31%. Second start with Saffie, which wins at 26% in 58 races. So this to me looks like this is a horse. This looks to me like Saffie targeting this race. Second time for this horse, and I expect you're going to see a big performance from Dreamliner.
Yeah, and that's true because it's my number 1 pick also. Drops in class today, and its best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. And the workouts have been decent, not flaming, but it's been in the money 100% of the time at Tampa Bay, and it has won one of those races. So I do like the horse.
I just think that when I look at all the other horses, I mean, I try to find a hole in the 6 game relative to the other horses. And so to me, the next horse up on my board is the 1 horse.
Yes.
And that's Thrown for a Lupe. Yep. It is a horse that should close coming in from Hawthorne, but hasn't really run on turf that many times, ran on turf twice, hasn't run at Tampa Bay. As you mentioned, a lot of firsts for the horse. It is dropping in class, which is a positive, I feel like. But I just don't look when you look at the turf numbers relative to the 6 horse, it's not even close.
No, it's true. I like the horse too. It's my second pick. It did run at Tampa Bay, but not on the turf, and that was way back in February, and it ran at second, beating the neck. But it's only ran on turf twice, and it's ran third once. But I like it as my second choice.
Well, what the thing that allowed me to really not necessarily single the 6, but when you look at how Throne for Lupe is working out, last time out at Tampa, it was on the regular track. It wasn't on the turf course, but it was the fastest of 74. And, the turf down there is probably sandy, much like the dirt is sandy because of the proximity to the ocean. Mm-hmm. So I would expect that workout probably translates to a good race on the track as well.
I agree.
On the turf.
I love the workouts that it's showing. It's always got really good workouts. 2 bullet workouts in a row. So, yeah.
Yep, indeed. And they had a nice race last time, a bullet workout before that race. Now you got a bullet in a dropman class. Who else do you want to add in here?
I like number 3, I Say I Play. And I like this horse. He's coming in from Parks. He's ran at Tampa Bay before. He's won 1 out of 2 races, and he likes the distance. He's 50% winner at this distance. The turf, he's did fairly decent. He's got 2 wins out of 9 starts. And, I think his workouts are kind of average, but they're fine.
I had the 3 horse in there as well, Terry, as my 4th choice. For me, the other choice in this particular spot, Terry, is the 7 horse. That's my 3rd pick. That horse is Farm Strong. Horse has run okay on turf. It has hit the board in 5 of 12. It has some of the best turf speed figure numbers for any horse in this field. It's another one that can close very well. 4th time off a layoff. The last time the horse in its 4th race in the cycle, it produced one of its better speed numbers. So I don't think it really has a chance to win, Terry. Yeah. But I do feel like it can close, and if it gets the right setup, it has a chance to win this race. Probably won't, though. I give it maybe I don't even know if 8-1 odds are. That gives you a 12% chance. I think it's probably closer to maybe 10%. Horse should probably be more like 10-1.
Yeah, I agree with that. It wasn't in my picks, but
do you think we need to go any deeper than 6, 1, and 3?
No, I really don't. The only other horse I looked at was Saratoga Boy, but I like the 7 that you were talking about. I don't think it has all that.
I understand. So, looking at where we're at right now, Terry, this is kind of light. This is almost a hot dog pick for us. So we're at 16 times 3 is 48 divided by 2, only $24. So you want to put your 8 in there?
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and put that 8 in there. And then any other horse that you want to put in there, or you think that's it? We're on the cheap side today.
What does a 3 look like in the 7th race? Let's look at that again.
Well, even if we put it in there, that's 25 times 3, 75. Yeah. Right, so that's only 36. $75 would be $37.50, something like that.
Yeah, let's put it in there. It's coming in from Monmouth, and let's go ahead and put that horse in there.
All right, well, there you go. We'll just go with this. I think this looks pretty good, no?
Yeah.
Because you got that really early price horse, and if that horse wins the 4 horse, it's going to be difficult, I feel like. There's a good chance that if the 4 horse wins, it's going to cut these tickets in half a lot. So it probably makes good sense not to really load up. So we'll go ahead with this. The 1 to 4 in race number 6, the 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 in race number 7, the 1, 2, 6, 8, and 10 in race number 8, and then the 6, 1, and 3. But I really feel like the 6 at the end of that sequence is a potential single as well, Terry. Not because it's such a standout horse, but because most of the other horses have no reason to stand out, right?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Terry, let's see how we broke it up ourselves. Here you go, my friend. You did single that 4 horse.
I did, because I think it's going to be really hard to beat that horse unless there's something wrong, and that's why they've done this. But I really think that horse is standout in that race, and so I singled it. And in the 7th race, I used the 4 and the 6. In the 8th race, I used the 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? And then in the 9th, I used the
all
1,
even
3.
numbers. Yes.
Yeah, I used the 1, 3, 4, 6 in the 9th race. And I did have the 11 in there to start with, but they scratched that.
Yeah, it was a main track only entrance.
Yeah.
So it's a sunny, beautiful day down there, as Miss Carruthers had mentioned. Race number 6 for me, I went with the 1 and the 4. I really want to beat the 4. I really do, because that makes the tickets much nicer. I felt like race 7 was the most wide open race. The 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Race number 6, again, I feel like the 6 horse looked to me like to be the best horse in this field. It was between that and the 2, the 1 and the 2. I decided for the 1, as reasons we spoke about in the Fly 4. And then in the last leg, 1-6. Again, I'm hoping to beat that 6 horse with at least the 1 horse, because I feel like I don't think the 6 horse is going to go off at 5-2. I think he's going to be more like 9-5, Terry, maybe somewhere in that range, maybe even as low as 8-5.
Yeah.
So I mentioned yesterday, we both did hit exactas in our box it up. This is where Terry and I take 4 horses at one race, and then we're doing a $1 exacta box with all 4, a 50-cent trifecta box, and a 10-cent superfecta box. Terry got the exacta and the trifecta yesterday, and I had the 6 and the 7. I mean, yesterday for me, different race. The 6 and 7. This is a question. This is something the next time we have a jockey on the Players Edge podcast, I have to ask this question, because it drives me absolutely bananas, Terry.
Yeah.
And that's when, so Penn National, right? They're running 1 mile on the Penn National course, and it's like claiming $5,000. So it's not top-notch horses that you're going to see competing for the Kentucky Derby or going to run in a stakes race anytime soon. And there's certain fractions that the horses can't run at claiming $5,000 at Penn National. And yet my 2 horses go out to the front. They're the lone speed. They're 1.5 to 2 lengths in front of every other horse. And yet they're running 23 and change.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, why are you running 23 and change? You can't run 23 and change and win. Why not be a half a length in front of everybody else?
Yeah.
Instead of 2 lengths in front of everybody else, and run a 24 and 2.
Yeah.
And then as the race goes on, then your speed will hold up. I can never for the life of me understand why they do that. But anyway, my 2 horses went out to the front and 23 and change in a mile at a low claiming level race yesterday and died off. And then my 12-1 morning line got bet down to 3-1, only ended up with an exacta. So that bothered me. So anyway, I'm over at Delta Downs today. The number 2 horse, Hidden Expectations, is a 6-1 top choice for us over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So I'm looking again for value with the 6, 7, and 4. But based upon yesterday's action, Terry, I'd say there's probably a good chance that horse is going to end up the 2 horse, instead of 6-1, will be like 1-6.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. Yeah. Well, I'm over at Tampa Bay, and I like Tampa Bay, the 4 horse in the seventh race. I like the 4 horse with the 6, with the 2, and the 7. So I think that's a good combination there.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, so far you've gotten exact on both days. So this is we're finding more Sasquatches here than we were elsewhere. Yeah. Speaking of yesterday at Penn National, it was our free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, and the payouts were over $3,464 potential payouts, Terry. So that's a pretty good number. Today we rewind a little bit, and Turf Paradise is the free track for today. So just head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, sign up, it's free, and then you can get all the Turf Paradise picks for today for free. So that includes 3 best bets and some suggested wagers. There you can see race 1, Lethal Storm is picked to be the winner at that. Any final thoughts before we get out of here on this hump day, first day of December, and first day for us to do Tampa Bay Downs, Terry?
Well, yeah, if you like what you see on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. If you go to Facebook and like us there, and then also if you've got a Twitter account, retweet us.
Yes. So you can go to Racing Radar on Facebook, follow us there, give us a thumbs up. It helps us with what's called the ratio. The more thumbs up we get, the better our ratio, the higher we go up in their algorithms. Follow us on Twitter. Our friend and our do-it-all, Sean, Swiss Army Sean, he goes ahead and puts out what we socializes when we're about to go live. So he'll let you know, hey, and if you hit the bell here on the subscribe button at YouTube, you'll also be notified right away. All right, Terry, before we get out of here, as always, we hope that all of your picks are winners, that today our pick 4 stuffs our pockets, maybe yours too, with cash. And we hope that every single one of the bets that you make today and your life in general, Terry, ends up in the
winner's circle, of course.
Absolutely, everybody. Have a wonderful hump day and a great December.